Louis, look, I know that this is early, but what other information do we have about this attack here?
Kena, what we are learning from U.S. and Iraqi officials that there are at least 2 rockets that were fired at the Al-Assad base. Now, this is a sprawling base in western Iraq. It's frequently under attack over the last year and a half, especially since what happened over there in Israel between Hamas and Israel. Now, one of the things that we've seen here is that we are getting initial indications that several American personnel were injured. Now, this is quite different than the norm because typically when these incidents occur, we get word that there were very few casualties, if any. Typically, the rockets either don't reach the base, or if they do, there are no injuries. But in this case, a notch above, which is why this is very noteworthy, and it's very notable to figure out exactly what's going to be the next step, because last week the United States retaliated against one of those militia groups as they were preparing to launch missiles or rockets from in an area southwest of Baghdad, and that followed a recent series of about 2 incidents in 1 week where those Iranian-backed militia groups had fired at U.S. bases. Those attacks were the first ones since April, and the ones in April were the first since back in February. And back in February, like almost daily attacks in Iraq and Syria stopped following U.S. airstrikes. So the question now becomes, how will the United States military respond? And based on past practice, I think it is very likely that we may see some kind of a retaliatory strike. However, given the climate right now and what's happening between Iran and Israel, and whether Iran will retaliate potentially against Israel because of the assassination of the Hamas leader in Tehran, I think things have to be seen through a different prism. And I think that's something that the U.S. leaders will definitely look at.
Basically, Biden has given Iran like $16 billion directly and allowed them to make hundreds of billions of dollars, as President Trump points out constantly. This has emboldened them. They were able to then expand their military, pay off all of their rebels in Iraq to attack America, pay their Houthi rebels to attack Americans, Israelis in the Red Sea. And these people are all the way from Yemen. And of course, worst of all, paying their terrorist group Hamas to kill Jews. And they did it en masse and had the help of somebody in Israeli intelligence, obviously. As everyone has pointed out, they let them attack. Don't forget that. Something seriously wrong there. And we've covered that, and I've posted clips of Israeli people saying a fly couldn't get on that border. Yet for 8 hours, they let Hamas run crazy. Why was this war so wanted? To attack Gaza? Something's wrong somewhere, right? More reason to waste more American billions? Because now America's given billions to the Palestinians so they can pay their martyr program, which has nice photos of all of their martyrs hanging on the streets on the so-called West Bank. Think of that. People who kill Jews and Americans are heroes. And now Biden is having American taxpayers pay their families every single month. We pay their martyr program. Trump stopped that. But Biden and the Marxist Democrats, they're paying the enemy to kill Jews and Americans. We're paying Israel to fight those that are killing Jews and Americans. You notice each time American taxpayers, we lose. Because we're throwing the billions everywhere. All part of the plan to bankrupt this country.